All right, so get ready because we're going to dive into something totally different this time.
Oh, yeah?
We're taking a look at this band,
Okay.
Cannonball Krypto and the Kryptonauts.
Interesting.
And yeah, it looks like you sent us like a whole bunch of promotional stuff about them. And honestly, I got to say, I'm already kind of intrigued, like what is going on here?
Yeah.
So I guess our mission, if we choose to accept it, is to like figure out what kind of music they make, what their whole deal is.
Right.
And, most importantly, should you check them out?
Yeah, for sure.
But
Yeah.
I also got to mention this because this is where it gets kind of weird.
Okay.
There's also some poems written by an AI in this mix.
Oh, wow.
So
It's different.
yeah, it's going to be an interesting one.
All right. Well, looking at the material they sent,
Yeah.
the first thing that kind of jumps out at me is they call themselves
Okay.
Earth's premier sci-fi folk funk band.
Wow. That's
a bold statement.
a bold statement. It really grabs your attention.
It does.
Like, how do you even blend storytelling funk grooves and folk melodies all into one thing?
It makes you wonder, right? Is this like some kind of musical Frankenstein, or is there like a method to their madness?
Yeah, is it going to be a beautiful tapestry or just kind of a jumbled mess?
Yeah, and looking at some of the influences they list, I think it's probably a little more intentional.
Okay.
They mentioned bands like Led Zeppelin,
Yeah.
Greg Allman, Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we've got like
Yeah, you've got some big names there.
some real classic rock vibes going on.
For sure.
Yeah.
But when you think about like the epic scope of Zeppelin's sound,
Yeah.
right, the soulful blues of Allman, and then that like psychedelic experimentation of Hendrix.
I'm starting to see where they might be going with this.
Yeah.
But how do you throw folk music in there?
Right?
I mean, doesn't that kind of clash with the whole sci-fi thing?
Not necessarily.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
folk music is really all about storytelling, right?
Yeah.
And that can fit really well with sci-fi. And plus, when you think about it, they're listing instruments like banjo
Like a band.
alongside electric guitars and Hammond organs.
Okay.
So they could be creating some really cool textural contrasts.
Pulling a banjo in a sci-fi band. I gotta hear this.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting twist.
It is.
It suggests they're not afraid to, like, break the mold a little bit,
Yeah.
and do something different.
Yeah. I mean, it makes you think, like, are they serious? Are they joking what's happening here?
Right, they're creating something unique,
Yeah.
and they're not just trying to fit into some genre.
Forging their own path.
Exactly.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so they also keep mentioning these immersive live shows
Okay,
that are supposed to transport you to another universe.
I see.
So what do you think? Is this just hype, or are they actually doing something cool with their performances?
Well, considering, like, their creative approach to genre and, using AI,
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if they went all out for their live shows.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, imagine, projections of galaxies and nebulae.
Oh, wow.
Maybe even actors dressed as aliens interacting with the audience.
Okay, now that would be a show.
Right.
All right, so they do have 2 upcoming shows listed here.
Okay, let's hear it.
We've got one on October 4th at Lost Nation and another one on December 8th at River Arts.
Got it.
The Lost Nation show is all ages, only $10,
Nice.
but limited tickets, so you got to get on that.
Yeah.
And the River Arts show is free.
Even better.
Also limited tickets, and get this,
Well.
they're recording a live album that night.
Oh, wow. So you could be
You could be on the
a
album.
part of history.
Very cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, if you're in the Vermont area, those shows might be a good way to like actually experience this whole Sonic Universe thing.
Definitely.
Okay, now they also seem to be pretty specific about who they're trying to reach with their music.
Okay.
They keep saying, space brains and dreamers unite and cheer.
Hmm.
So is that just marketing speak, or is there like a deeper meaning behind that?
I think it speaks to them wanting to, like, build a community
Oh.
around their music.
Yeah.
They're not just trying to sell albums.
Right.
They're trying to connect with people who share their love for all this stuff,
Yeah.
Sci-fi, folk, funk,
The weird stuff.
a little bit of weirdness.
Yeah, so if you're a space brain or a dreamer, and let's be real, who isn't at least a little bit of both,
True.
this band might be right up your alley.
Yeah.
But okay, here's the thing that really blew my mind.
Okay.
They're using AI-generated poetry.
What?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. They've got a couple of poems in here, and they describe it as a
Okay.
collaborative effort between a human and an AI.
That's fascinating.
I know, and the poems themselves are pretty wild.
Okay, I got to hear this.
Like, they blend sci-fi imagery with musical references. It's like a surreal soundscape in words.
Wow.
So are they basically letting a computer write their lyrics?
Yeah.
I don't know. Should I be fascinated or frightened?
That's a good question. I mean, it's definitely a bold move, right?
It is.
And it raises all these questions about, like, what is technology's role in art?
Yeah.
Are they using AI as a tool, as like a collaborator? Or is it something else entirely?
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to listen to their music to really find out how it all comes together.
Yeah, how are they actually using this?
Right.
Okay, so let's unpack these AI poems a little bit more.
Okay.
What kind of themes and imagery are we talking about here?
Well, one of the poems talks about a cosmic jukebox
Okay.
playing starlight symphonies.
I mean, that's pretty out there.
And then another one mentions a cybernetic troubadour
Okay.
strumming a laser-lit banjo.
All right, so they said this was co-written with an AI.
That's right. They actually credit the AI as like a co-creator
Wow.
in the poem's byline,
Really?
which I think is interesting.
Yeah.
Because it suggests they're not trying to hide it.
Right.
They're embracing this collaboration.
Yeah, it really makes you think about like the future of songwriting. Totally.
Like if an AI can co-write a poem, can it co-write a song?
That's the question, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of musicians are wrestling with that right now.
Yeah, for sure.
The lines are getting blurred
Yeah.
between humans and machines.
Yeah. That's a whole other deep dive
Exactly.
we could do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I am dying to hear what this AI-infused sci-fi folk funk sounds like.
Yeah, me too.
But before we do that, there's another thing I'm noticing,
Okay.
and that is the location.
Oh, right.
These guys are based in north central Vermont,
Huh.
which seems like a pretty far cry from a cosmic spaceship.
It's a little different, yeah.
Yeah, it is an interesting juxtaposition.
It is.
You've got this band with this like futuristic, otherworldly sound,
Right.
and they're from a state known for like rolling hills, maple syrup.
Yeah.
Like a decidedly more grounded vibe.
True. Very true.
I've actually spent a lot of time in Vermont,
Oh, yeah.
and there is a certain magic to the place.
Like a strong sense of community, a love of nature, a deep appreciation for creativity.
I can see that.
And I wonder if that's what drew Cannonball Krypto and the Kryptonauts there.
Yeah.
Maybe they found a place where they could just be themselves,
Right.
let their freak flags fly and create music that's both grounded and cosmic.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder if their music will reflect that,
Yeah.
that blend of influences.
That swish and pull.
Exactly. The rural and the futuristic, the traditional and the experimental.
Man, I am so ready to find out what this sounds like.
Me too.
But I think we need to take a quick pause. Let all this sink in.
Yeah, that's a lot to process.
It is.
We've got a band that blends sci-fi folk and funk, uses AI in their songwriting,
Right.
and is from rural Vermont.
Yeah.
And they're calling out to all the space brains and dreamers out there,
Yeah.
promising to transport us to another universe
With their music.
and their live shows.
It's a lot. It's a lot to take in.
It is.
Yeah. We'll be right back to dive deeper into the sound of Cannonball Krypto and the Kryptonauts.
Can't wait.
Stay tuned.
So before the break, we were talking about those AI poems.
Oh, yeah, the AI poems.
Really fascinating stuff.
It's kind of blowing my mind a little bit.
I know, right?
Like, it makes you wonder, can AI really capture the human element of music?
Right.
That emotion, the experience, the stuff that makes music so powerful.
Yeah, that's the big question.
Yeah, or are we just talking about like a fancy algorithm spitting out words
Right.
that sound vaguely artistic?
I mean, think about it this way.
Okay.
Those poems aren't just like random words
Right.
thrown together.
They're telling a story.
Exactly. They're crafted, they tell stories, they evoke imagery.
Yeah.
And even if the AI provided like the raw material,
Right.
it's still the human artist who shapes it.
Right. It's still a partnership.
It is a collaboration.
The AI is the muse.
Yeah.
The human is still the composer.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about the AI thing. We've talked to Vermont. But let's get to the music.
Yes, let's hear it.
What does this sci-fi funk fusion actually sound like?
Well, they list instruments like Hammond organ, electric guitar, bass, drums.
Okay, standard rock band stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then they throw in banjo.
The banjo again?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm picturing a sound that's both familiar and unexpected.
Okay, I like that.
You got those classic rock elements.
Right.
But then you add the banjo and suddenly there's this like folksy bluegrass element.
It's like they're taking these well-established genres and just like twisting them into something new.
Yeah.
Creating a sound that's like both retro and futuristic at the same time.
Exactly.
I'm really curious to hear how that banjo's gonna fit in.
Me too.
Like, what are they doing with that?
It could be melodic leads, rhythmic textures.
Yeah.
Even just a touch of twang to add some flavor.
Right.
And knowing them and how they like to tell stories.
Yeah.
Maybe they use the banjo to give us a sense of place.
Oh, like the Vermont vibe?
Exactly.
Now that you mention it, I can almost hear it.
Well, yeah.
Like this driving funk groove, soaring guitar solos, those swirling Hammond organ chords.
Yeah.
And then, bam, out of nowhere, a banjo riff just cuts through it all.
I love it.
Yeah.
That unexpected contrast.
Yeah, it's like they're not just playing the same old sci-fi tropes.
Right.
They're adding their own, like, unique twist.
Totally.
And, they keep talking about transporting you to another universe with their live shows. Like,
Yeah.
what are they actually doing to create that experience?
I mean, they could use visuals, right?
Like projections and lights?
Yeah, lights, costumes, maybe.
Yeah.
But I think it goes deeper than that.
Okay.
Maybe they add in some theater storytelling, even audience participation.
Oh, that would be cool.
Make it a whole experience.
I saw a band once that used puppets to tell a sci-fi story during their set.
Really?
It was so weird.
Wow.
But I'll never forget it.
That's awesome.
I wonder if these guys are doing something similar. Like using the music as a jumping off point.
Right.
For a bigger performance.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
And don't forget their slogan, Space Brains and Dreamers Unite and Cheer.
Oh, right.
It seems like they're trying to build a community.
Yeah, they want to share this experience with people.
Yeah, it's not just listening to music. It's like joining them on this crazy adventure.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got this band blending all these genres.
Yeah.
We've got AI, poetry, rural Vermont.
Right.
Cosmic themes.
It's a lot.
They're going to transport us to another universe.
Yeah.
Are you starting to get a clearer picture of what this band is all about?
I think so. It's like they're taking all these different pieces and fitting them together.
It's like a puzzle.
It is a puzzle.
Yeah.
And it's unexpected, but it works.
And they're not afraid to have fun with it.
No, they're embracing it.
They're like, yeah, we're weird.
Right.
We're doing our own thing.
They're owning it.
Yeah. And I kind of love that about them.
It's refreshing. Makes you wonder what their music actually sounds like.
Oh, yeah. That's the big question, isn't it?
The $1,000,000 question.
And lucky for us, we've got the answer.
Right.
But before we get to that,
Yeah.
let's remind everyone about the practical stuff.
The details.
Yeah. You mentioned those upcoming shows.
Right. October 4th at Lost Nation.
Yes.
December 8th at River Arts.
Lost Nation, all ages, $10.
Right.
Limited tickets, though, so jump on that.
Gotcha.
River Arts is free.
Even better.
Also, limited tickets.
Okay.
And they're recording the live album that night.
So you could be a part of history.
Exactly.
Very cool.
If you want to be a part of music history, that's the show to see.
Definitely.
And for those of you who can't make it to Vermont,
Yeah.
I'm sure they've got some stuff on their website.
Probably.
Like music samples, maybe some videos.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah, it's worth checking out.
Definitely.
These guys are breaking the mold.
They are.
They're pushing boundaries. They're having fun.
It's inspiring. Who knows what kind of sonic adventures await us?
I am so ready to find out.
Me too.
All right, let's finally hear what Cannonball Krypto and the Kryptonauts sound like.
Let's do it.
Get ready for liftoff. Okay, so we're back, and I'm ready to blast off to this other universe.
Me too.
This band's got me so curious, like folk, funk, sci-fi, AI poetry,
Right. It's a lot.
Vermont, and they want to take us on a journey.
There's a lot to process for sure.
Before we actually listen to their music, though,
Okay.
I want to go back to something we were talking about before.
Okay.
Their location.
Vermont.
Yeah, like we were saying, it seems kind of strange.
Right. It's a juxtaposition.
Yeah, like this futuristic band coming from this rural place.
Right. Like, how does that even work?
But maybe it's not so strange after all.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Maybe it actually makes perfect sense.
I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, like Vermont is a place of contrasts.
It is.
You've got the mountains and the forests.
Beautiful scenery.
Yeah, but then you also have like a really vibrant art scene.
Yeah. A lot of creative people.
Yeah. And this strong, independent spirit.
Right. Like they do their own thing.
Exactly. So maybe this is the perfect place for a band like Cannonball Krypto and the Kryptonauts.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Like maybe they need that wide open space
Right.
to fuel their creativity, you know?
Yeah, like their music can breathe.
Yeah, and then at the same time, they're surrounded by this community.
Right, a supportive community.
Yeah, so they can collaborate and experiment.
So it's like they're taking the best of both worlds.
Exactly, like they're drawing from the earth and the stars.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's like they're grounding their cosmic sound in real place.
I can almost picture it, with them playing in a little barn in the middle of nowhere, with the stars shining overhead. It would be magical. So let's bring it back to you, the listener.
Right.
We've looked at this band from every angle.
We've done a deep dive.
Yeah, we've talked about their genre mashup, the AI poetry, the live shows.
The Vermont connection.
The Vermont connection.
It's a lot.
They want to create a community of space brains and dreamers.
Right.
It's clear that this is more than just music.
It's an experience.
Yeah.
They're pushing boundaries, they're challenging us,
They're doing their own thing.
and they're inviting us along for the ride.
So should you check them out?
What do you think?
I think if you're looking for something different,
Right, something unique.
something that's going to spark your imagination, then absolutely.
You got to give them a listen.
Yeah, don't be afraid to embrace the weirdness.
Like your inner space brain out.
You might just discover your new favorite band.
And who knows, maybe you'll get transported to another universe.
And if you happen to be in Vermont,
Yeah.
go see their shows.
Experience it firsthand.
Yeah, be a part of musical history.
They're recording a live album, remember?
That's right. So there you have it.
Our deep dive into Cannonball Krypto and the Kryptonauts.
A band that is truly one of a kind.
Truly unique.
We hope you enjoyed exploring with us.
It's been a wild ride.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep listening.
And keep diving deep.
We'll see you in the next deep dive.